Good
We're
morning.
live.
Good morning, everybody.
Live from Sun Valley, California.
Well,
Chauncey, good morning.
Good morning, Chauncey. If that is your name.
Yeah, Dr. O'Boogie.
I have my
Matt.
doubts.
the weather's nice. It's been nice this week.
Morning,
But I don't
Scott.
live where Jim
One
lives,
of
where
us, James.
It's going to be awesome
Dr.
today. It's going to be,
you're basically on the
Matt.
sun.
Easy now.
So what's going on? Anything going on?
Marvin
very
Gaye.
I'm waiting because there's an embargo in Hollywood. They show movies to
Really?
reviewers or influencers too, and then they give them an embargo that they can't publicly say what they think of the film until a certain date. And for some reason, they did it with Superman, and some reviews have leaked, good and bad. So I'm anxious to see how it pans out. Because I don't go to the theater to see movies really anymore. I might go to see that one.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's no reason to now. You can get all the porns online, Rob.
Yes, I can. Yes, the porn's been online for quite a while, Harry. I think
I just
you didn't have a
discovered it by
receding
accident.
hair. You didn't have a receding hairline when porn was available online.
I just found it on
one thing they teach you when you go to like media and stuff like that, but you should know this: the number one sector of entertainment that is the most receptible to technology historically is the porn industry. They're the first adopters of new technology.
Oh, yeah. The porn industry drove bandwidth back in the
the porn industry drove videotapes. They were the driver of everything.
And that's what I've heard.
I was in San Jose in 1999, and they said on Thursdays, 50% of all internet traffic was porn.
Why
Actually,
Thursday?
I don't know. Thursday was the heaviest day.
Well, I can tell you, when I worked in a video store, it was Tuesday. When I worked in a video store, it was Tuesdays was the big day because that was the new release day for everything, including porn. Speaking of porn,
the porn industry popularized the Bible, both New and Old Testament.
Now, here's something interesting. Really? 3 people on screen right now used to put a nickel in that thing and go like this to watch their porn.
Yes. I'm going with
you got to get rid of your iced coffee.
It's Michelle's birthday this week, so we're going to see the Superman on Sunday.
Hello, Dr. Robert.
Hey, guys.
Hello,
from
Bill.
What I've gathered from the limited number of responses I've seen from people, because they did screenings across the U.S. last night, and then the premiere in Hollywood. If you don't like James Gunn, like Guardians of the Galaxy, I don't think you'll like it. If you like that stuff, then you'll
well, those are.
I have trouble believing a man can fly. I think he just jumps really high.
Well, Harry, next time you're in town, I'll take you somewhere where we can see if you can fly.
Do you and Dr. Robert get together before this thing and write jokes that are not really that great?
No, I'm just naturally this talented. It just comes to me. It flows.
It's the gift he has.
Can I say I like Harry's jokes?
Well, I figured that.
That's like it's
two birds of a feather.
Yeah. Delphine sent me a message and says, "I think you're funny, Harry." So there.
Well, Delphina said that.
Yes,
Delphina, come on.
And I didn't even pay her.
We all think less of Delphina right now.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Wow. You know what though? She was just feeling sorry for you.
Yes.
Well, yeah,
it's very, for a guy who has a lot of experience at record stores, it's odd to see a man humiliated by a record store owner, Harry.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, fuck that guy. Never go to Bagatelle Records.
It's the best record store.
I love the way I get a stack of records and then Rob comes up and whispers, "By the way, it's cash only."
Well, do they have
records back?
They have an ATM like a
no.
a
No,
strip
there's an ATM down the block. Go.
Hell,
Get
it's
out
like
of here.
going
That's
to a weed
ridiculous. I think that's the
dispensary.
stupidest thing, having a retail store with cash only. in this
How long
day.
has that guy had a store, Jim?
30, 40 years.
Yeah, well, he's nailed it, I think.
Yeah, but what he
Yeah.
should do is, okay,
He'd sell a
cash,
lot
you
more
get
records if he took
20%
cash.
off or
I think
something.
actually he told us a story why he only takes cash.
Yeah, well, we all know.
Yeah, but
No.
the story related to something 30 years ago that he refuses to
Well,
Well,
he
that's
told
him.
us
and try
a story.
Can I just say something? That
Yeah.
doesn't have anything to do with anything.
Yeah.
Trey, a supporter A.
Oh, he's a Trump supporter.
Oh fuck! I
For-
wish I'd
it-
known
no,
that.
is
Pig
Bagatelle,
laughing.
hold on. Is Bagatelle Jewish?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, he advertises in Record Collector News, I think, right?
he's a great guy. He, I know a little bit.
I'm
He's a bit of a
exaggerating.
conservative, and his wife is a bit of a liberal, and they fight all the time.
No, I
Oh,
mean
yeah,
I'm exaggerating. People should go to his store.
He's probably in the Epstein files that don't exist.
Yeah, and I
It
have
doesn't exist.
pull
They don't
up Sean-
exist.
There is no file.
It was on her desk 3 weeks ago. Now it doesn't
I know.
exist.
I know.
pull up
Hey,
Sean-
not to change the subject, which I don't want to delve into. So on, was it Saturday they did that Black Sabbath show thing,
Right.
and I watched clips of it, and I was surprised. I know Ozzy's health is horrible, and he had to sit the whole time, but he sang pretty well. And
I didn't see it.
I saw clips all through it. I mean, each group only paid like a short amount, but it seemed like a good show going on there.
How was the Oasis shows? How are they doing? Apparently they're pretty
I saw that
successful.
what's his face walked off early. Am I wrong about that?
I didn't hear that. I don't
One of the brothers.
I didn't hear that.
One of them has become Zen, the other one's still
Well,
a jackass.
The
Look at
singer
Jeff's
is
comment.
the asshole still.
Put Jeff's comment up on screen.
Who's?
Jeff E.
Do we know that for sure?
Do you know that 100%?
See, it sounds like fake news. It's people just post shit. Now, that sounds weird to me.
Dr. Robert, what time is it there?
4 o'clock.
Nice.
4
So you had
p.m.
to get up a little earlier.
Wait, you're still in Germany?
Yeah, we're in Germany. This is Heidelberg behind us here.
Oh, they
Hey,
have
wait.
great
Hey,
beer.
can you zoom? Hold on. Can you zoom in on that hill? I think there's a lady swirling around.
I don't
That's
know
where
what-
they make the. That's where the printing presses came from, right, Jim?
no.
The
Heidelberg.
Gutenberg.
Goethe, you know, Goethe lived here for a while. He wrote Faust. I don't know if he wrote it here, but you know, he's like Germany's Shakespeare. So
Oh, good. So we got good reviews on Oasis so far here, apparently.
yeah.
But the dude
sure they're
probably
great.
And Goethe.
does Goethe think that who are those guys from the Otto Bond band?
Oh,
Kraftwerk.
Kraftwerk,
Does-
yeah.
Does he think does Goethe think Kraftwerk is as good as the Beatles or
Yeah.
better than the
Now
Beatles?
wait a minute. I want to know
Actually,
more.
except that he died over 100 years ago, but
I want to know more about Dr. Robert's 2 speeding tickets already. How do you get a speeding ticket in Germany?
well, here's the thing. All right. So it wasn't on the Autobahn. It's what they have done, and I've encountered it in the States too, in much less frequency, but they've installed photo, you know, speed traps that monitor your speed and then flash a photo and send it in.
But
If
how do you
speed-
know already? Usually you get something 3 weeks later in the mail here.
Yeah. Well, I saw 2 flashes, so I'm not 100% sure, but
Well, maybe you were having a acid flashback or something.
again,
I had
Yeah.
somebody flash me once. It was very traumatic.
So were you speeding?
I was speeding.
I
and,
was
you know,
pretty high.
These are 30-kilometer-per-hour zones, which is like 20 miles per hour.
Are you going to go to DOS traffic court?
Well, I hope not. I mean, I think, you know, it's a
Well, you
rental
want to
car.
do something even online because that's going to double your insurance.
I don't think from Germany it will. I hope that there's not like an international reportage, but after I saw these 2 flashes in like 2 days, I went online and there's a bunch of stories from other Americans and maybe other travelers, but in English online saying, yeah, I got a bunch of traffic tickets and this is how it worked and this is what it was. And it sounded very similar to what I had experienced. So I'm assuming I've got 2 traffic tickets.
Yeah, but what are they going to do to you?
Find me.
Hey,
They got to find
Oh.
you first.
hey guys.
Yeah,
So,
well,
Well, they have the
so
rental
right
cars.
now,
yeah,
look,
exactly.
Herc just shared this in the chat. So they're releasing an Oasis box with all their albums on gold vinyl.
That one's exclusive to Amazon.
It
Will
is.
it have a-
Yeah, the gold vinyl one. I don't know if there's going to be a non-gold vinyl to stores, but it's going to be CD and a gold vinyl at Amazon. Amazon exclusive. See,
How much is this box? Did anyone look?
I don't know. I don't know.
will it include a
Good morning,
DVD
Uwe.
and will it
Good
include a
afternoon.
DVD and a coupon for download and hopefully a booklet too, right?
No download codes anymore. Most
It's
of them.
Oasis. They'll sell tens of copies.
They'll sell a lot of that.
I
That
mean,
will sell out. That
From what it looked like to me,
That
on
will
these
sell
shows
out.
they did, they
Yeah,
packed
probably will.
and they packed stadiums full of
Yeah.
people.
and it's good reviews. And the thing is, they're young enough. They sound good. They have a full backup. I mean, a full band. So of course they're going to sound good. They're going to sound exactly the same.
I went to the
Oh, wait.
fights one night and an Oasis concert broke out.
Hold on. Richard Ashcroft, I believe, is opening up for them.
Okay.
And I saw someone recorded after he ended, a lot of people left because they came just to see him.
I saw. They're going to do really well on this tour, and that box set will sell out. I don't know, maybe not right away. but it's
350 euros, which is how much here?
Yikes.
45 cents.
No, euros are closer to the dollar, aren't they?
Oh, I don't know.
Did their manager used to also represent the Lord of the Rings franchise?
I saw them.
Hold on. Let me explain, because even though Dr. Robert, I assume Dr. Robert's traveling with a translator, and he needs to in the
Uwe.
US, because Dr. Robert's level of instant humor is not strong.
Oh,
It's
okay.
not. It isn't.
All right. Well, coming from you, that resonates. But I'll say I think that was a good one again there, Rob.
Well, all I'm saying is, Dr. Robert, understand this. A lot of people strive to become famous for everything that fame brings to them, mainly money and notoriety, right?
And women.
So your stance on artistic integrity, which millions of people have, but yet isn't the main thing you need to become famous, right?
Yeah.
So when you have a bone in your craw about what people do to make more money at being famous, it seems nonsense. It really has nothing to do with artistic integrity. It doesn't.
As Dan B suggests, first of all, Oasis had a moment in the States, but nowhere as big, and they're not even in the top 25 of big bands in the US. Obviously, they're in the top 3.
That was not on my bingo
But
card.
Mazzy,
Well,
I really think you're missing the point with Oasis in the US, because of a certain age group of people. They were big. They were big.
we were big.
You know what?
Oh.
And what will show is when they come here to play.
Oh, they're going to sell out here now.
They're going to sell out. But I believe a lot of people will be coming from around wherever
but
they come from.
They had one hit album here, maybe 2 out of all their records,
I saw them once, and I only went because I wanted to see Ryan Adams. He opened for him.
Yeah. I saw them at a club called the Bottom of the Hill Club on Potrero in San Francisco.
Now, Craig, why are you waiting on the box personally, or you think you'll sell a lot of copies of it?
He's joking. Mono box.
I ordered my copy of the Record Store Day hits from him, and he sent it to me. It was great. And of course, a month later, it comes out here in America regularly. So, because you can buy it now here.
Yeah, I think for me, the one Oasis album, I have the CD. I don't need no box.
I got into Oasis not once.
I want to officially, compliment German caramel corn. This is delicious. Each kernel is fully popped and round and perfectly covered
Yeah,
in
but
caramel.
did you buy it packaged, Dr. Robert? Okay, that most caramel corns that you buy packaged are like that.
Well, I've
When
had
you
some.
buy it fresh, they don't weed out the unpopped kernels and all that stuff, and
Well, the Germans have the best ovens, though.
Oh, oof.
man. Yeah, well, hold on, Harry. You bring up a good point. Is that what you were trying to get at, Dr. Robert?
Too soon.
Yeah, that was
Too soon.
that was a toughie. But I do. I met Waxed. I wanted to say, we had kind of some discussion on our text stream, and you and Mazzy, and I respect you guys' viewpoints totally. And and I realize, I don't know. I have a little bit different preference,
Well,
but
What are we talking about
Dr.
now?
Robert, Dr.
Well,
Robert, here's really the deal, and I'll tell
Oxfest,
you
for example.
directly. Here's the deal. We were talking about one thing, and you can go down on the boat with this on your point. We were talking about one thing, and you made it about something totally different. These are literally two separate subjects. Because here's the deal, Dr. Robert. There's more than one person on this text stream. You were the only one with your point of view about this.
What are we talking about? Which thing,
I don't
Rob?
know. I'm lost.
You mean when I brought up?
So this all started because the Beatles hired the guy who managed the Harry Potter franchise
Oasis, not the Beatles.
to run their business. And we were talking about that. And then Dr. Robert comes in about how philanthropic the people should be with their money and artistic integrity. And that wasn't the point of the subject we were talking about.
I think what really bothered you was when I started talking about Tiny Tim's hip diagnosis. I think that was, that was the trigger there.
I don't even remember.
That's always sort of disgusting.
I think they should take your American passport away right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, Germany.
Through the tulip.
In fact, by choice, you should stay there.
Can I just say something to Germany right now? Germany,
that's over my head.
Dr. Robert's not in a place right now that has anything to do with like success or.
We need to get Uwe up here now too.
Whatever.
Exactly, Jim. Nothing I say.
I'll say this to kind of, if I was talking about what you're talking about, Dr. Robert, I will just say this. Anybody who strives to make money being artistic has to enter into a situation where it's a business and people make money with art, right?
Yeah.
So that when you agreed to enter into that world, you have to understand what goes on. But again, there's plenty of people raising money for good causes and all this. But when you enter into the business, like the Beatles did back in the day, over 50 years ago, they're probably the prototype for every band that achieves some sort of success on what you want to build your business to be.
Well,
Elvis
was
Paul's wig. I still have a Beatle wig.
Huh?
The Beatles were great artists, but they wanted to be number one. They wanted to be number one. They wouldn't come to America until they had a number one.
Can I ask you a question?
Wait, that was pretty ballsy in 1964 because those kind of bands didn't hit number one in America.
Right.
Can I ask you a question, Mazzy?
Yes, you
You
can.
just did.
When the Beatles created their corporation, right?
Apple or with NEMS? NEMS
Well, where they were allowed to start their own label and start bringing in acts. How many acts did they bring in and break in their new?
They did horribly. They broke Badfinger and Mary Hopkins.
No,
James
James
Taylor.
Taylor. James Taylor.
No. They signed James Taylor. That bombed. That first
album.
No,
didn't
I
go-
understand. Well, that's not my point, Mazzy.
he said broke. That's
No,
the thing. You mean
but tell me I'm wrong. Those 3 acts went on to have careers,
oh,
right?
absolutely. Yeah, of course. They had Modern Jazz Quartet also. You know, they had
Right.
They did,
So
they did.
They had the Stair Steps, who later became the Five Stair
the
Steps. with
5 stair
Lou
step.
Child.
They
never-
were a terribly run business. Apple
well,
was in
but that's
'68.
hold on. But that my point is there was no what the Dr. Roberts' point is they broke bands that went on to have long careers.
Well, yeah,
Any of those,
yeah.
all those
Jackie
bands,
Lomax never had a hit. You know, I mean, they
yeah,
hired
but all those bands,
Doris
were
Troy,
striving to
John
become.
Travers. I mean,
Doris
there was some real
Troy-
shit on Apple Records.
Doris Troy had some hits in the UK.
I don't have Doris Troy.
but not
with
on Apple though.
No, right.
They
right.
signed, she got signed because George
Billy
was a fan.
Preston actually did okay. Yeah, Billy Preston.
I'm forming a corporation this week.
I honestly,
Radha Krishna Orchestra, or whatever the hell it was called. I mean,
Radha Krishna or-
there was a lot of
why did Ravi
No.
Shankar? Does Ravi Shankar have a Apple record?
No.
Or something?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Does
not
he?
on Apple.
Yes.
on Harrison's label? No,
he has
on Dark.
he has the soundtrack to the movie Raga on Apple Records.
There you go.
Okay.
Ravi
Well,
Shankar
yeah.
record.
Thank you. So, look, I really, this isn't an argument, and
It's
honestly,
definitely
They
an
broke
argument.
Yoko.
It's
No,
definitely
but
an
I think-
argument.
I do want to say, I just think, Waxed and Mazzy, I think we're closer in opinions here than we are far apart. And, I don't resent them using their back catalog to make cash. But what I said is, and I still would say, I just don't find that the most interesting of their work. I find their original
Of course.
work much more interesting.
And you can sell those only so many ways. The thing is
Totally.
now,
totally.
whether you like it or not, they're now an entertainment entity. They have been.
Totally.
Like
Totally.
the show Love in Vegas showcased that.
I know
They're going to do something probably like an AI thing, like they did
Yeah.
for ABBA, maybe.
Yeah.
Something like the ABBA thing,
Right.
where it's a CG AI thing. Hey, Susan, hi.
Sorry
know,
to interrupt. Nice to see you all.
You too,
Hi,
you too,
Susan.
sweetie.
Susan.
Hi.
So it's time because these guys probably in the next decade aren't going to be around. Maybe if we'll see. So they need. I hate to say, there's going to be like that ABBA show and like this whole. They're going to exploit, and I know that's a negative word to a lot of people. Exploit the brand of the Beatles, and that's what this new generation guy.
I get it.
You know.
And I will say, I welcome this news much more readily than most of our current political news. And I think I'm ready to leave this topic.
Mazzy,
if you guys are.
last year,
You're freezing up.
What
I'm
happened?
actually tired of hearing about the Beatles.
just to understand this, last year, the top 10 dead celebrities that made the most amount of money. Hold on, I'm talking, Harry.
You're freezing. You're freezing.
going on?
The top 10 dead celebrities. Michael Jackson was number one. You know how much his estate made last year? $600 million.
Okay.
You know what? It has to do with shit. This has to do with StreamYard. They put up a warning. StreamYard's fucking up.
Well, they said the warning was for using virtual backgrounds.
Does anyone
and
see
stuff.
me?
Yeah, we can see you, but you're bye.
Oh, that's
now
much
we can
better.
have a honest.
Much
Wow.
better.
So welcome to the Wax Show,
Yeah. Wax on, wax off.
Mr.
Hey.
Personality. He's kind of like the Don Rickles of the vinyl community.
That was
Rob
pretty
the
cool.
I
Wax.
saw a little bit of the Zappa hologram stuff, but the tour didn't go well because they had to do the exact same show night after night after night.
It'll first of all, if they do something like that with the Beatles, it won't tour. It'll be a permanent thing, like the
Right.
ABBA show. I haven't seen it, but everyone. It sounds weird, but everyone I know who's seen it said it was amazing.
I
Okay.
have no interest in going to anything like that.
Well, but
I
okay.
totally
But but there's a lot of generations that do that never
Yeah,
had.
yeah.
You know,
I,
if it
I mean,
wasn't, wouldn't have gone if it wasn't for my mother. And since I didn't see the Beatles, I would now go to it. You know.
But like
I-
Matt Basterson is right. I'd much prefer to see Rain or the Fab Four or some of the tribute bands because
That's
some of
fine.
those are really good bands.
Yeah, but I understand it. You know, I understand it.
yeah.
I put it this way: I'd rather see something like that than like an Ozzy Osbourne in a wheelchair limping along to a background track or something. You know,
Wait,
that-
And
did you say
Wilson on
rather?
stage in a
Did you say
wheelchair.
rather? Did you say
Huh?
rather? I'd
I
rather.
did say rather, didn't I? Yeah, I
What the
said.
hell is the matter with you?
Mm,
Shh, here he comes. Shh.
Yeah.
Hey,
Stream, just so everyone knows, StreamYard, there was a warning with other things too.
I saw that warning.
Really?
It didn't
Well-
affect the four of us, only you.
okay.
Because I'm hosting the stream, you moron.
Got it, moron.
Did you use too many swear words in one sentence or something?
Fuck off, Dr. Robert.
Oh,
James,
okay.
I never heard of the B Street Band, but when I put a band together 20 years ago, I called it the G Street Band because we all met on Garfield Street.
so I saw the Zappa hologram band perform by themselves without the hologram, and they said that they preferred it without the hologram. It was very limiting.
Do you remember in the late 1960s how big?
That's right, Chris.
If you went to Disneyland, one of the big non-rides was the Hall of Presidents with animatronic Abe Lincoln,
Yeah.
which sounds
Right.
it's no big deal now, but at that point, that was a kind of a big thing. You know,
Well,
and
that
so,
was back when you went to school and they taught you that Eli Whitney invented the cotton gin. You know, I mean, times have changed.
well, that was when
Well,
people
hold on.
believed in history and read
Let me-
history
let me-
and didn't make
Let
shit
me
up.
ask you a question to all the older people here, which is virtually all of you except me.
Guilty.
As I remember as a little kid, just in my mind, when did that Grateful Dead movie come out?
Oh,
72,
79, 78.
Is it, is it called What a Long Strange Trip It's Been?
No, Dr. Robert.
That's the Amazon.
That's a documentary. There was a movie called The Grateful
Oh, yeah,
Dead
70.
movie.
Yeah, maybe 74, 75.
Okay, as I remember, that movie was sort of a midnight movie, but it played a lot and people would go and watch
that
it.
one right there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
played forever.
That
yeah.
movie. So you know when you go look at things on the internet, and I hate to bring porn back up, but they say like the movie Deep Throat. The investors did that movie made like $200 million, something like that, theatrically in movie theaters. That's a number that you can go look. I'm curious to see how much money that Grateful Dead movie made because that movie played for years
Yeah.
and people would go see it. And then Harry, show your whole Deep Throat collection, please.
You know, Richard Nixon had to see Deep Throat twice before he got it down pat.
The thing
That's
about
an old joke. That's an old joke.
the thing about Deep Throat,
You got to be an old person to get
Deep
it.
Throat
You
crossed
didn't make that
over.
one up.
Deep Throat crossed over into some legitimate theaters. It wasn't just in the porn theaters in the seedy neighborhoods. My mother and her friends went to see Deep Throat. It was like
Oh, that is sick.
Missing.
Your
Yeah.
mother.
it played
Wait.
on Chestnut Street there's two theaters on Chestnut Street, legitimate
Of course
theaters,
there are.
and it crossed over. So people were going to see it.
When they
Funny
It
that
left,
played
wasn't-
on Nut Street.
Your
it
Harold
wasn't a
Lee-
sneak going in and out.
Hey, the purpose of this stream is not your personal psychoanalysis, okay?
Hold on. Should I make a graphic that scrolls
That was-
across the screen?
That was
And
funny.
Dr. Robert makes a joke
No,
to let
here's
everyone
here's the
know
thing.
he did it.
My mother said to me, Norman, you can't see the Beatles, and I'm going to see Deep Throat. There we go. So
See, that was a good comeback. There you go.
there we go.
How old were you?
Well, what year did Deep Throat come out? It must have been 73 or 2. What year did Deep Throat come out?
Oh, geez. How would I
Yeah,
know?
everyone.
Hey Siri,
please
what year
find
did
out.
Deep Throat come out?
Early 70s sounds right.
72. So I graduated high school when it came out. So 18.
Yeah.
So you were old enough to go see it.
I went to see it with my friends.
I was
Yeah.
not. I was
The
not.
best thing about it was the opening act. There was it was a twofer. There was a movie called, what was the name
Devil
of
and
it?
Miss Jones?
Something the Virgin Nymph. And I remember in the theater there was a close-up shot. I won't describe it. A close-up shot of a woman's organ. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Just playing.
someone
Was
yells
it a
out.
Hammond B3?
Someone yells out in the theater, "Abalone!" And the whole theater started cracking up. You had to be there.
Okay.
Abalone.
Well, I can honestly tell you that I did test a movie. Ron Howard made a documentary about Deep Throat, and we tested it, and it had graphic scenes in it, and some people were very angry coming out of the theater.
Yeah, of course.
Wow.
How many people here have actually been in a porn film, though?
There was more, in the late 60s.
I have.
You have?
I was just a kid at the time, though. I don't really
People
remember.
gotten so puritanical because in the late 60s and the 70s, there was more nudity and sex in major motion pictures. Now everything is more refined for the most part.
Well,
I don't know if I agree.
I got someone just texted me Harry's lines from the movie he was in. Your pizza's here.
Pizza's here.
Pizza's here. Yeah.
Well, speaking of that, the other night at open mic, we didn't have a bass player. We normally have like 4 bass players show up. Nobody showed up. I said, no problem. Let's just order a pizza.
Yeah. That's a Cheech and Chong. That's a Cheech and Chong bit. Did you order a pepperoni pizza? Well, here's the pizza and here's the pepperoni. Zip.
Can you go get a blackboard, Dr. Robert, and diagram that for us?
Yeah. Well, I don't think there's really that much need, but
Dr. Robert, are you going to go to the factory where they make the cuckoo clocks?
It's not on my list, but
it's kind of cool that the internet is better in Germany than Santa Monica.
Can you picture Dr. Robert going to one of those Oompa parties and
I went to a Hollywood party once, and there was a pool in the backyard, and Ron Jeremy was sitting there.
Well, that's his job.
And what you think would be happening was happening.
Yeah.
I was at
I don't get it. Good looking. He's not a good looking guy.
No.
Why?
I saw Ron.
Harry, just say
that didn't work for me.
That's not my type. Okay.
I saw Ron Jeremy in an airport once, and he was limping badly and had a cane. And
no, that was his third leg.
Well, I think it was a bad hip. I don't know. It's hard to make.
He was probably tiptoeing through the tulips.
I think he had a Throckmorton left, probably.
I think I've seen him in person once in Hollywood, but he was a guy who was like everywhere.
I think I saw him in the alleyway once when I went down by the Grauman Theater or whatever they call it.
Oh my God!
I saw him at a rich friend's house.
Hey, Raji, what is hectoring someone? What is that?
Hectoring is a thing. Not sure exactly.
Heckling.
Heckling.
You're a star at hectoring, Waxed. No, it's one of your skills.
All right, this is gonna happen. I've got to make it happen while we do this stream.
Have you had any schnitzel yet?
I've had some schnitzel. It wasn't popular with my wife, so actually I finished the schnitzel today. Had some leftovers, so
good stuff.
Yeah. Well, the food is not the outstanding element of German culture, I have to say.
No, but the language is like the language of love.
Maybe.
Did wait, from what I understand, what is big in Germany?
I can't.
Did you have a doner kebab?
Hey, there's a new record store apparently that opened somewhat recently in Dusseldorf. Are you going to go to that place?
Well, we might. We might. I don't know if you're joking. I will tell you, I was
I'm not joking, but I am joking. Rob knows what I'm talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about. So we drove up to Stuttgart about 5 days ago. We saw Patti Smith. I think I told you guys, and outstanding concert as always. But in Dusseldorf, in Frankfurt, I visited a record store, secondhand vinyl, I think it's called, and been there 40 years. Man, one of the best record stores I've ever been in. Immaculately, maintained, and fantastic collection, and very reasonable prices. Everything in just incredible condition. So I am going to go back to that place. I bought a few records, but I was there an hour. I could spend 10 hours there, I think. Yeah.
Mostly European pressings, or what kind of stuff?
Definitely mostly, but I found a couple of 10-inch US pressings, Ida Cox, which I didn't have, and then I found a Charlie.
Wait, is that a porno movie?
No, it's not. And a Charlie Parker, I found it, waxed dude like that. I found a Charlie Parker 10-inch there. So.
Yeah.
10-inch
I
record.
love that stuff though, but it's a funny bit, even though it's been overdone, overbaked. No, but seriously, Michael 45 opened a store in Dusseldorf.
Oh, is that what you're talking about? Seriously?
Hey, Mazzy, can you pull up the Yelp section?
I don't know the name of the
Reviews?
store. Anybody know the name of the store? I mean, is it called Michael 45? I don't know the name of the store.
Not familiar.
Yeah, well, I wish him luck. I mean, he's got the online thing, so now
Probably
it just
called
makes sense.
Fuck MoFi.
You
OGs
probably,
are the best.
you can probably buy some UHQRs there as well.
I understand you get a copy of that with the knight on the cover. What's that movie? Remember album?
Cucumber Castle.
No, that's a real album. It's not.
Are you going to do your collection again?
It's a real album with
Yeah,
a
it's a
knight
Bee
on the
Gees
cover.
record.
It has a castle. They're dressed as knights. You're right.
And it's only two of them. That's one like.
See,
took
that's
a
like one
hiatus.
of the newest records I own.
I know, I'm sure.
Hey, Fluffy, the reviews all say marvelous.
Marvel. Mouse.
Hold on. I'm doing some work here. Give me a second. People talk.
Talk amongst ourselves.
Yes.
What?
Can you leave the screen again?
Yes. Thank you. Can you show your porn collection again?
You've already seen it.
You've already participated in it.
You guys.
Hold on. I'm doing.
Hey, it was nice seeing Coffee Dave in your little clip there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun.
You got to get him up here some morning.
That would be good.
I don't think he's up this early,
Why are we up this early?
because he's a lot
We're old.
younger than us. He's how old is he? 56. He's younger.
So my best man in my wedding 25 years ago, I haven't seen him in probably 10 or almost 15 years, I think. He came to town and we had a good time, went out and hung out and had a few drinks. I talked him into going to see Seven Horse at the City Winery in St. Louis.
Cool.
Told him I'd get him a ticket for it. So I'm hoping
Nice.
his wife is going to stay here for like a month. So he'll be back there solo. So hopefully he'll go. He said, yeah, I got nothing going that night.
Perfect.
Hey, Dr. Robert, say something funny.
Oh my God. You put me on
Something
the spot.
funny.
All right. Well, I don't know if this is funny. So we have had a kind of a running joke about a road sign that, Harry, you photographed on your way down to California. And, I think I made a comment, were you driving? And here's the thing. The reason I said that was because I realized you must have driven through Portland to get to Northern California. And I'm like, dude, why didn't you call me? That's
Because I was starting a 14-hour drive and I didn't want to stop anywhere.
I'm sorry, Doc. Doc, you do this shit to me. I'm on my way to California, and I'm like, just because you live in a place on the way doesn't mean I'm going to pull over, drive another 10 miles, park, spend time, get on the
Yeah.
freeway again, get stuck in that fucking traffic and continue. And it's
Well,
not just you. You take it personally. It would be the same if I was going to LA. I don't have to go see Jim and Rob every
Yeah.
single fucking time.
Well, no, I don't take it personally, but I am a little heartbroken. And you know, look, if I was your son, or you know,
I
Yeah,
guess
if you were my
I guess
son,
this
I'd
is-
go visit you, but
I
you're
guess
not.
this is the wrong time for me to mention I was in Portland earlier last week.
Jeez.
Hey, everyone! If you're going to Portland, go now because Dr. Robert won't be there.
there's no obligation for the next.
Hey, we're going to be there this weekend. You want to
I'll
meet
give
up?
you the address.
Yeah. Visiting Dr. Robert in Portland is at the top of the list.
Jim,
It's at the
I'll
top
give
of the
you
D-list.
I'll give you the address to the
Jim,
gorge.
you got to get up here.
He is under the planter and all his records are there.
I know. What?
It takes as long for me to get to Rob's house as it does to get to Portland.
Exactly.
does,
Hey,
yeah.
I'll pick you up at the airport, Jim. You know.
The thing of it is that my degree of interest can only be measured in micro give-a-shits.
Pip 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 pip.
Hey, wait! Instead of let's call this an anti-intervention. Can everyone admit when they were in Portland? What time and date, please?
I'm just
So
saying.
now Pete's
my
Pete
door is
Time
always
Music Room
Hey.
is in Germany right now as well.
That's awfully nice of you, Doc. His door is always open.
My door is always open.
That's very
It's
nice.
open right now. Go over there.
Yeah. Can I
I
drop my
was going to
donkey
ask
off?
Dr. Robert, are you at the gorge right now?
No, fuck no. We're somewhere else.
Fortunately, his records are safe because they've all got these big, ugly stickers on the front of
Yes,
them.
there you go.
Right.
He'll know if you took his records.
Here's one.
Oh no! But wait!
He
You
even brings
brought
his
the
stickers
stickers
with
with
him.
you? You
I
brought the
did. I did. I brought my whole gear over.
Did you bring your little spine repair kit?
I didn't bring the
Oh,
tape, but I bought a new glue stick, and I've been looking for the hinging tape. I haven't found it so far.
Oh, you bought Dosh Stick and de Glue.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. Yes. Yeah. So no, I've got my whole setup, but I can't play anything. I've got this Crossley that PB Thal says will ruin my records if I play them on them.
Not
so.
all
and-
Crosleys ruin records. Not all Crosleys are created equal. Seriously, some have
Dr. Robert, I couldn't stop to meet with you because I was busy seeing Marty.
What's that little record player
I love
called?
Marty. I love
Is it
Marty.
the Hamburger or something? The little record player.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
What
Yeah, I
did
don't
you?
have
You
That thing
brought a
sold
record
out
player
really
with
quick.
you brought
I
a
did, I
record
did.
player with you.
I did. Yes, I brought a little portable. I'll go get it. I brought a little portable record player with me. And actually, it's not working. I have to buy a Bluetooth thing. The internal speakers somehow already shut down. So I used it in Portland once and it worked. But then
Is that the one? Did they send you that one to review? Is that the one?
no.
Because that one company from China keeps wanting me to.
They did. They sent me
I
a
just keep saying no. I don't want to do that.
That's about
Dr.
the-
Robert, Rob has a little record player too that he takes with him. It's called Jim.
Hey, you know what?
That was the only good joke you've said in the 5 years I've known you, 6 years.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that.
Yeah, I have some records.
Yeah,
I
go.
went-
Okay.
I distributed Record Collector News this week. Do I have a copy of that? Hold on.
Yeah,
I
but you
got
don't.
I got my copy.
You're given the screen and you get up and walk away.
Yeah, sorry. So I got I distributed about 12,000 of these so far. And in doing so, I went to a lot of record stores. Not a lot, but I went to some.
Which you hate buying
Yeah, I don't
records
like-
when you go.
The thing of it is if I mail the papers, put them in a box and mail them, it costs about $6, $7, $8, $10. If I do it myself, then I wind up spending, here's 40 on this. Look, check this out. Frank Zappa, Studio 10,
Nice.
test pressing. Yeah.
And Record Safari?
Yeah.
How much?
It's only $40.
I tell you, man, those guys, they price their stuff to sell.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
So he goes, it's V. I go in there and I go, do you still have it? And he goes, no. And I look and there's some holes on the wall. I'm like, too bad. How much was it? He goes, $40, I think. And I pantomime sticking a knife in my neck. And some kid from down the way looking at the wall goes, "Here it is." And they still had it. So I bought it. I was very happy.
Did you
And
give that kid a tip?
I should have. I thanked him profusely.
Yeah,
Um,
hey,
Give him a
hold
free
on.
copy of the
Jim
magazine?
went up to that kid. He looked up and said, "Thank you."
Jim
neck
looks
hurt.
up to a lot of people.
Yeah, I looked up to that kid. Anyway, this I got. Rob took advantage of me.
Oh, I have. Yeah, that's great. That's the
I have
very
that
first Arhuli record.
Yeah,
Really?
that's a
Yeah,
good
you know
record.
what? I could have sold that for like
The
$100.
kid was me.
Jim's
Here's another
fragile
record.
ego.
Mans Lanscombe.
Here's another thing I got at Record Safari. Thurston Moore.
Wow.
I'm not going to keep it. It's
Wow.
just not my thing right now. I'm not into
Not
it.
a fan.
He apparently the guy at the Frankfurt record store, secondhand records, said Thurston Moore is a regular there, and he'll go in and spend all day when he's in the neighborhood.
Nice.
Yeah.
So then I picked this up.
Oh, I got that.
Soundtrack to Jerry Maguire.
I saw that when I was there, and I almost bought it, and I'm glad I didn't because when I got home, I had one.
Yeah, well, I fucked up because
Is
I
that's
he
a
did.
doing a
$40
Nazi?
record.
Is
What?
Tom Cruise doing it? Is Tom Cruise doing a Nazi salute there,
I was going to say the same thing.
like Elon Musk?
It
Well,
looks
the
like
only
a
one
Nazi-
qualified to that
How
answer
did
that
you
is
fuck
Dr.
up,
Opera.
Jim?
Well,
How did you fuck up?
when I brought it home,
Yeah.
I found out that I already had one, Harry.
All right,
See?
I'll
See?
take
But
that off
hey,
your
So
I'll take that off your hands. Put it
Okay.
in my pile.
now my friend Carl, who I grew up with,
Uh,
he was the music editor on this, and
Is
he's
he
got
the
a credit.
Indian in the group?
He's the Indian. Carl Caller. No, he's not an Indian. He's Das
Okay.
Uden.
Isn't
But-
the guy in Zappa's band the Indian named Carl?
His name was Jimmy Carl Black.
Jimmy Carl Black.
Okay, that was
Yeah.
close.
Yeah. But anyways, good movie. My buddy was the
Great
editor,
movie.
music editor, and great soundtrack. But I don't need two.
Secret Garden.
Here's something I picked up.
You showed us
This
that
is,
last week, didn't you? That's
Yeah,
a
he
sealed
did.
one.
you're
It's
repeating
sealed
yourself.
and it's got a hype sticker on it. I have 4 copies.
So we're going in therapy every week and showing the same records every week.
No, but this one has a
Well,
hype sticker.
hold on, you're the master.
Wait
of
a
that.
minute, that's the kettle calling the pot black.
And
Yeah.
it's sealed. This is never
I
going
do it on different shows, though.
U.S.
different
pressing,
shows.
sealed. Record
Uh,
Safari again.
We have a montage right now of Mazzy showing the same record. Let's go.
Yeah.
Right. Here's something I bought. This was only $25 at
It's autographed.
CD Trader. It's original.
And by
US
the way,
Not
worst
autographed.
record store in LA.
I got a promo copy of that when it came out. That was my first, one of my first 2 promos. I think I got.
This is
That, you're
great-
giving Dr. Robert a migraine
sounding
right now
record.
because you're thinking of his traffic
See,
ticket.
that's when I did that Beatles
Thank you.
versus Kraftwerk video with Michael 45. I showed the cover of that, saying how they copied Abbey Road on the cover.
Hold
Yeah.
on. Jim, can you flip that around?
Yeah.
Can you flip it around to the cover? Hold it closer to the camera.
See the
Which
Volkswagen
one of those cars
28
is
if.
Dr. Robert speeding?
Yeah.
Yeah, 28 if. That's
You got some laughing points there.
Kraftwerk
where's
always
28
ripped off
if?
the Beatles.
So this
That's not
record
Abbey.
is so much better than the Beatles. This band is so much better.
I
than
like
the Beatles.
Kraftwerk, but they're
I
not
do
better than
too.
the Beatles.
I did too.
We're done.
I found a
Kraftwerk.
copy
You
of
and I
that
are done, Jim.
Then I got
not
then
so
I
long
got
ago.
They're so
three of these blue backs.
They look red
Classical
to me.
records.
Why do you call them blue back?
Here,
Because they
I'll
have
show
blue
you.
backs.
The back of the album is blue.
It's blue. That's how
Jacket.
you know they're the ones to get.
The back that covers blue. This
I guess-
record,
Not
Schubert.
projectile.
I'm not into classical music. This record is like rock.
Yeah, you showed that
Star
last
music.
stream.
It's so fucking good.
Yeah.
Anyway,
number 9. You should look
Yeah.
at. You listen to number 8 though.
So I got 3. That's it. 3 classical records, 1 dupe. Oh, there's 1 record I'm not proud of. I bought this too. Not sure why. I don't know. I was feeling like a little girl at the time.
Is that the one with Royals?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
a good song.
I think that is. That was her big hit. So
Yeah.
I actually like her. I have a couple of her records. I don't have that one.
I think she only made 2, right?
There's
No.
4 records.
I think her 4th record just came out.
Oh,
Right,
okay.
exactly.
I put
young
the
lady
sticker
singer
on
who
my
knocks-
CD drive.
That's very nice. Freak
Hey,
beat.
all right. Now I have a million records I have never shown to
Okay.
anyone.
I'll be back in an hour or so.
Oh god,
Are they
Hey,
going to be jazz?
I got to
They're
make
everything.
coffee.
a lot of jazz, but this band, Last Exit's a great band. They're free jazz metal, almost metal, and
Hey, Robbie.
this is the last one I think I don't have of theirs. It's Sonny Chirac and Peter Brotzman and Bill Laswell and Shannon
Bill
Jackson.
Yeah,
This
Laswell and
is like this is borderline free jazz metal.
I have
So-
I have several of their records. Yeah.
Yeah, I found an OG copy of this. I'm doing an auction on Saturday, so a bunch of stuff I'm showing I'll probably put in the auction. So I know this reissue just came out, but I found an OG copy of it. Let's see what else I got here. I found this solo Andrew Hill record on Soul Note.
I don't know him.
Oh, this one is really cool right here. So this, a lot of people don't know this record. So it's introducing Perry Lee Blackwell on the Combo label, which was an LA-based label
Yeah,
that
no,
they mostly release singles, right? But this is, I think there's no official date on this, but I think it's 57-ish. And it's actually really good, but it's mainly Curtis Amy on saxophone.
Is it on Discogs?
Yeah, it's on Discogs. But this is only one pressing of this record. This one.
I mean, they should have the year on there though.
No. But I looked. The label was only active until like 60 or 61 through the early 50s.
Does
And
it
again,
go for money?
I got it for half of what it probably goes for. So
Yeah.
no, it goes for some good. I just
Looks like
think
it's in nice shape.
not many people own it. It's not very notable. I think people just know about this record.
I've
And
never
it's
seen it. I've never seen it. That again reminds me, early rock and roll, the primary driving instrument was the saxophone, not the guitar. That's
The
what
real rock and roll has a saxophone in it.
Yeah, that's not rock and roll. It's jazz. She plays
R&B.
the organ. And if
Okay.
you know anything about, she just passed away, Perry Lee Blackwell, at 98 years old, I think a year ago. And she appears, I think they all were in the Doris Day movie as the band, but she was came late to playing the organ. She picked it up like when she was 28.
Wow.
And it's
Does
pretty
she
good,
sing?
but it's driven by, this could easily be reissued as a Curtis Amy record, easily.
Right.
Really good.
Does she sing on it, or is it just instrumental?
It's all instrumental, but I think there are things she did where she sang. Now, we talk about Cheap Heat. This album is Cheap Heat at its best. This Chris Woods record on Delmark. And you could still, I think there's an issue of it out. This album is excellent and really cheap. So I highly recommend that one. I participated in an eBay auction and got this Pharoah Sanders on ESPN.
Ooh,
Yeah, this goes for well over $100.
sure.
I got it for like $40 on an eBay auction.
Never seen it. Would buy it in a heartbeat.
This is it came out 65. This is the original cover is not this one. It only came out once in 65 with this cover, but really good. Very happy about that. Let's see what else I got here. We went to the Orange County Record Show and I picked this up. This is a hard to find Azar Lawrence record. It's white label promo on Prestige. This is a very good record too. Another Cheap Heat record is this one. This Pete Yellen. Dance of Allegra.
Does he do it? Does he sing or does it just
No,
yell?
this is all instrumental jazz, good stuff. But this is a killer record. Go find this record. I think it's
Who
under
wants an
25
album
bucks.
of Pete yelling?
I think he also clogs. He plays the flute and clogs.
Listen, this is better
Doug?
than the
Doug, I
Hey,
think. He
a
plays
couple
the-
reissues that are really good. So I picked this up. This came out a couple years ago on yellow vinyl.
Oh, cool.
This is like Roy Ayers' Ubiquity. It's like a highly desirable kind of funk record, and it's really good. And this is pretty good. It sounds really good.
Is that a U.S. pressing?
I think
Because it's unusual to have them do that on colored vinyl in the U.S.
Well, this came out in 2023, so it's not unusual when they're doing colored vinyl. I actually found a record that came out in 1980. I'll find it here. I have so much records that they did like 10 different colors in 1980.
Wow.
That's unusual, right? In 1980. This is really good. And then this record quietly came out last year, a reissue. Like an original of this record is very expensive, but they put out a 2 LP redo. I think it came out of Europe. It came out of Germany from the
one
original
Dorothy
tape.
Ashby record.
That's a good record.
Yeah.
This is good, and it's outtakes on the second record. It's really well done, and it quietly came out and sold out everywhere. I found a copy when I was out with Jim at a record store. This is worth getting, I think. Everyone should.
I accidentally sold. I had an original of one of her records that I just didn't know the value and sold it for like $20 years ago. Still regret it.
Yeah, it's well worth it. It really is very good, and it's kind of like funk harp. The main person who did this was like a famous arranger. Is it Richard Evans? Richard Evans, and it's mainly I think him, but it's really good. This is good. This I'll probably put in the auction. This is a Shelly Man, really good record, 2, 3, 4, where he's playing duets, trios, and so
That's
on.
a great record. That is
It's a great record, but this was put out. Were they the original audiophile reissue label, Alto?
I don't know about that, but that is the version to have. You want that version. You want
Well,
that.
I have,
looks
I have a mono copy of it that I rather keep.
That looks
So
like a German pressing. It says GmbH.
That's
Right,
the
Alto,
better.
but Alto is a audiophile reissue label.
Yeah, I get it.
If you ever find an Alto reissue, pick it up because those are they're regarded. I have a few Altos; they sound really good.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
Yeah, I found a couple of Vince Guaraldi records. The one I found was the Warner Brothers, one of his Warner Brothers. He did 3 for them, and then he passed away. This one I'll put in the auction. This is I think a 70s reissue of this record.
Not a red vinyl.
Oh, this is good. Okay, you want a non-jazz record? This is an OG US pressing of Rocket to Russia.
Nice record.
I have
Yes.
a promo of that.
I have the Vinyl Me Please reissue because
I have an original from 1982 or whatever, whenever it came out.
it didn't come out. It came out in
Came in
'77.
the 70s.
Okay, I have an original issue that I bought in 1982, something like that.
Hey, you're not funny. What about this record? How's this one regarded?
Okay, it's good. No, dead people love that record. It's not one of my favorites, but it's a good record. It's a good record.
Yeah. Anything by Jerry, you got to pick.
That was on Arista, right?
Yeah, I'll probably put it together with this one
Yeah.
in the auction.
That's
We
their
did the
first
first
independent. Yeah.
Doesn't that
That
Grateful
one's
Dead
on the
There were a
Grateful
lot
Dead
of-
label, right?
There are a lot of bootlegs or a lot of counterfeits of that Grateful Dead record.
Matter
Hey.
of fact, they even put a little notification in the originals, didn't they?
Well, the
Little
original doesn't have the song titles on the back.
Hey,
Original cover, no song titles.
Let me
This
see the
guy
back of
from-
that Grateful Dead record. Let's see the back of that Grateful Dead record. The back.
There
Yeah.
you go. I think that's an OG cover.
That could be original. Let me see the label. Is it white? Yeah.
OG
I
label.
looked this up. This is not a first pressing, but it's
Isn't it? Okay. Must be close.
it is close. Hey, Paul, go look for this record, Michigan
Is that
Highway
Ron Jeremy?
by Danny.
Oh, I thought that was Ron Jeremy.
It's got the wrong 10 inches on the
You know,
record.
hey, I think the takeaway from me showing records today is Mazzy has a type. This is a good one.
I like Freddie Hubbard. Almost anything he's on is good.
This is a Monarch pressing. I already have this record, so this will be in the auction. This is a very desirable record.
Is that Red
Oswald
Fox?
and Steve Lacy, huh?
Looks like Red Fox.
Yes, they're playing the music of Red Fox. I'm listening right now.
Hey, you got to wash your assholes.
Hey, Dr. Robert, you gorilla. They're playing the music of Herbie Nichols and Monk on this.
Cool.
Okay. Do you have this one, Dr. Robert?
I do. Yeah, I have pretty much all of his. I have that one. Yeah.
That'll be in the auction.
That's a pricey album.
What about this one, Dr. Robert?
I have that one. Yeah,
This
that's
is
pricey. That's a foreign pressing, I can tell.
They should have called that Hamburger on the Hoof.
No, this is a US, I believe.
Is it? That
What's
cover.
that little
No,
black
it's
box on the label,
It's
though?
British. It's British.
So, did you see that I picked that up from the 5 seconds you had it on camera?
Did you
Just
pick this
saying.
up?
Just saying.
Here's
I have this record too.
This is on our Hooli, wherever Mazzy is. This will probably be in the auction.
Cool stuff.
Hey, while you're in
Earth.
Germany, Dr. Robert, go look for this record while you're in
There's
Germany.
my other wall.
I don't know that one.
It's
I don't
German.
know that.
It's like experimental krautrock.
Okay.
Okay.
Looks interesting.
All right. Here's the record I found. So this came out in 1980. It's a private press, I think, psych ish record. It's Terry Brooks
Hey, Bob.
and Strange. It's To Earth with Love. And apparently, if you go into Discogs, they pressed this in 1980 on like 10 different colors.
Nice.
Yes, I don't know if anyone knows this record.
No, I've never seen it.
So this will be in the auction. This is a very desirable Shelly Man record. Mankind.
So, and that label, what is that? Is the label 375?
It's mainstream,
Mainstream.
which was mainly a jazz label, but they put out rock records, rock bands.
What's the label look like?
If you know who owned this, Judd Apatow's grandfather. That was his label.
That particular copy?
Mainstream.
No, mainstream was his label.
Right.
Wasn't that who was on mainstream, Mazzy, out of the
Big
wasn't
Brother and the Holding
Big Brother and the Holding Company.
yeah, the early stuff.
The first
Different
album.
label though.
The first album.
This,
Well,
this
then
is a very interesting record. Okay, does anyone know this record?
No.
I've never seen it.
Okay, this record is a jazz record. Eric leads, but the record was a lot of the songs were written, and Prince put this out on his label, and Prince is on this record. He's on
Nice.
most of the songs.
Terrible artwork.
When he plays at home, it's always live at
It's
Leeds.
Warner Brothers. Okay.
First arranged and orchestrated by Prince and Eric Leeds.
The terrible
cool.
art direction.
Prince.
Yeah.
I mean, Prince doesn't get enough credit as a guitar player, even still now. I mean,
Sure he
he
does.
Yeah, he
Hold on.
does.
I think he does between two things. That thing where he took over the tribute to George
Rock and Roll
Harrison.
Hall of Fame. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
that's
love
the
All
that.
on guitar gently
Do,
lead.
do
Yeah, I
yourself
love
a
that
favor.
video.
Do yourself a favor if you haven't heard it. Go on YouTube
Mm.
and pull up Prince at Coachella playing "Creep," and to me, that's one of the best things he's ever played.
I've not seen that one.
Yes. All right. I found this. This will be in the auction. Does anyone have this one? The Sid
Yeah.
Barrett.
I don't have that
You
comp.
showed that already.
You already showed that. That's a 2 comp. too ugly comment.
Yeah, but that's French pressing.
That's
All right, I found this. This is not easy to find. I found this at the
Oh, I've got that.
flea market.
Yeah, I would buy
Is
that.
that Jan and Dean?
Dan and Dale, but
Or
this,
Sun Ra.
for jazz people. Okay, for jazz people, this is a big pickup because Sun Ra plays piano on this.
Oh, we got the big shot trivia winner in the audience here, 6-inch from Birmingham.
Oh, okay. 6-inch. I have 2 records right here. I want your opinions. Okay, 2 records here. These are 2 private press of funk soul records from LA, but the records are astronomical. But like 5 or 6 years ago, these were reissued by a Swiss label. So these are the Swiss reissues. Do you know this band? Ambiance?
Mm-mm.
Is there a big Swiss funk scene?
I don't know. And then here's another one they did. I think they did their whole library. But these were done in LA. And then the
Seeing
Swiss
the
label,
theme to the album covers.
yeah, they look the same. It looks like the same person designed them. Do you know this 6-inch? I went to an estate sale, didn't find a lot of good things, but if you typically, when an old person dies, they will have this record. This record was a popular record, but it's worth money. So this looks like it wasn't ever played. I bought it for $1. This is easily a $30 record, maybe a $40 record.
John doesn't know either of those records.
I don't think so.
If you don't believe me, Dr. Robert, I am speaking the truth.
Does it have White Christmas on it?
It has. I'm an American and will never go to Germany.
That's one of the few records I have from my parents' record collection pre-Beatle time.
Well, sell it because you'll get $30.
No, because it's trash.
Nobody's going to pay $30 for that when you can find them at Goodwill for $1.
But you can't find them clean. They were popular records. They're always trash.
My copy is totally trash, but it's sentimental to me. That's why.
Yeah. Good luck.
What?
We wish you luck with that.
All right, Dr. Robert, I want to shut you up because I know what I'm talking about and you do not. Okay.
No, I don't. Good luck, I said.
No, you're saying that in some sort of weird, sarcastic tone.
No, I'm not. I'm wishing you luck as a friend.
Wait. But Dr. Robert, when someone who is very good at selling records like me, and you know this, why would you say good luck to them unless you're?
I want to see the video of when that sells for $30.
Can we wait a second? Can we change the conversation for a second?
No, but Waxed, I must remind you of an older brother or
no, actually, Dr. Robert, don't play armchair psychiatrist with me. Here's the deal. I treat all of you the same. How come do you feel singled out? I must remind you of
Rob, I think you're ignoring your friends in Europe.
Nothing but love.
With content here. With content here. No, not just Dr. Robert visiting, but the actual Europeans, the British, the Germans.
They all stink.
We need to do a little segment. I never knew until yesterday that there's a famous case where Boy George handcuffed someone captive in his apartment. Did you guys know this?
No.
Was it George Costanza?
No, Boy George.
Were you being handcuffed in an apartment, and that's how you found out?
They held someone in this apartment. I bet you Scotty knows this in Florida because that's what they do in Florida. But Boy George handcuffed some guy in his house or something in the UK. Anybody know about that?
Just now?
No, years ago. It was it was in the press in the UK. I never knew about it.
Speaking of handcuffing people.
Why is this now?
He went to jail for it. See?
Okay. Speaking of handcuffing people.
Only the Brits know this story.
Well, if we can go back to
it was unfair as a question to Steve Carlson.
Oh, I see.
Can I just go back to Bing Crosby? That Stuttgart store I was in, they had a sign on the wall in English that said, "If you have any Bing Crosby LPs, please bring them to us."
Is that a joke?
Well, you can
Okay,
take.
so going
Hey,
back to
hold on.
Mazzy's comment
Hold
about
on.
the handcuffs.
Actually, I've
I
heard
knew
this
you
story.
would know it, Scotty. I
This
don't know
goes
why.
along the lines with Massey's Boy George story. I've heard
It
that
was
in
an
Germany
escort.
right
It was
now,
an escort.
the way they're harvesting organs from American tourists, the way they get them is they put up signs saying, "Come up to us with Bing Crosby records."
Yes.
Be careful, Dr. Robert.
Believe me, my wife does that surgery. It did.
Okay,
so.
I had a good joke about that, but now I'm not going to tell it. So there. Yeah.
Please, Harry, be funnier than Dr. Robert. Tell us your
Okay,
joke.
the joke goes, I just got my hearing aids. I can now hear my safe word.
All right, maybe don't tell the joke, Harry.
Okay, go. Are you done with your records? Can I do something?
Oh, hold on. I want to say something else. Now tell your funny joke, Harry.
Okay. So I have an announcement if you can make me big.
All right. Are you keeping your shirt on for this announcement?
I'm going to do an auction on the 19th. I've got about 150 records that are good records for this. I probably won't get through all, but I just wanted to show you an example or a sample of some of the, all really clean.
People want that.
Yes, they do.
Well,
Maybe
hold
not
on.
you, but
Let Dr. Robert share his opinion on these records.
Does that have White Christmas on it?
Good. Hey, Harry, good luck with that record. Wait, good luck with this record.
Well, Rush will sell. Rush always sells.
Oh, well,
There you
good
go.
luck with that record.
Labyrinth, yeah. I like Charles Musselwhite.
Good luck.
Meh.
Good luck.
Good.
I don't know. What's that one?
I used to have that record. It's a live concert Clapton did.
I mean, I just got. There's a lot of synth pop. If you like if you like that.
No,
This
does that have a poster? Is that mono or stereo? That's a mono.
no poster,
Hey.
but this is a mono copy.
Nice. Is it clean?
It's so refreshing to see records without a
Does it
sticker
have the
covering
finger?
it.
What color is the
it does
flag?
have the finger.
Hold it up. Hold it up. And it's
Got
the
the
red.
finger.
It's the red flag. Okay.
So,
But anyways, if you see that box, right, that plastic bin there, there's about 100, 150 records, and that's all stuff I want to put in the auction. So I'm going to do another one on the 19th of this month.
Nice.
I'm going to put up a flip video of all the records so people can see.
Well,
nice. Well, can I show
Harry
a couple?
Harry didn't pay for that commercial.
Yeah, there you go.
Kindness
show
in my
a couple
heart.
wax? Can I show a couple waxed?
I don't know. Can you? Do you have a Bing Crosby record?
Yeah, no Bing. So I can show this, and I would appreciate any information anybody has about this.
Well, wait a sec. That is probably not one of the greater ones, but some of the Crosleys have Audio Technica cartridges and are not bad. The desktop, the one that resembles the British dance set players, actually are pretty good starting record players. You know,
Dr. Robert,
all this bullshit about how Crosleys wreck your records is kind of overbaked.
okay,
Well,
that one, Dr. Robert, if I were you and the amount of traveling you do, go get that burger. It's like this big.
Yeah.
But that would probably hold up with traveling, not carrying around like you're someone's dead head in a little box like that or something.
Well, I bought this because it is so portable, right? So, and you know, I don't know, but it isn't working.
Did you carry it on with you?
Well, I packed it in my suitcase most of the way, and then I carried it on part of the way. Yeah, it's easy to transport, so that was the purpose. But I'll show you. So I caught a couple grails. We were in New York, in Rochester, and in Woodstock with family before we came over here. So this was one I've been looking for forever. I found
Why
this
didn't
in
you ship
Rochester.
your stuff back to the U.S. instead of shopping it?
I didn't, because there's not
nice.
really any to receive it. So I carried
Well,
it
you
with
could
me.
have sent it to me in Seattle.
Well, okay, next time. Thank you for that offer.
I would hold. No, seriously, I'd hold on to your record.
I could have picked it up on my way to L.A.
Well, yes, there you go. It hadn't occurred to me, but
Oh, that's nice.
Here's another one. So
That's nice.
this was in Rochester, a nicely curated store.
Boy, that cover is beautiful. If you
Yeah,
could see it.
yeah. Now Dr. Robert is getting a little crazy by putting the receipt over the cover.
Put the receipt in the back behind it.
Yeah. Okay, let me see. Did it go behind? Oh, no, it didn't. All right. But those were a couple of grails. And then this was one from Woodstock. And Woodstock was a little bit problematic, but I wanted to show this for Waxed. I mean, this is on.
So you're going to VCLT that to me?
By the time you got to Woodstock, it was dinner time, right?
Yeah. Well, I told you we did a rock tour. We went to the Big Pink, and we went to Levon Helm's studio, and we went to Bob Dylan's original home in Woodstock, which was it was now occupied by somebody else. And then this is a Stuttgart find, and this is not an American pressing. And it's interesting. It's a German pressing. It certainly looks to me like a legitimate Geffen label pressing, and yet it's listed on Discogs as a counterfeit. So I have no idea why that's the case. I paid about $70 for that, which to me,
not bad for a counterfeit.
Well, what it costs in the States, and but I'm still not convinced it's a counterfeit. I don't know. If anybody has any info,
if it's listed on Discogs as a counterfeit, why wouldn't it be a counterfeit?
Well, I agree, but I kind of have an eye for counterfeits. I mean, it's got every aspect of an original.
So basically, it's a good counterfeit.
Well, hold on.
Maybe that's a story.
Rob, make me big again.
No.
Oh God.
Okay, so this is my copy that I'm keeping, my mom's copy with the finger, and this one does have the poster.
Nice.
And then I have the same one stereo without a poster.
Okay, nice.
And then I have a reissue. And this one has, for the people that know, I was actually friends with Jerry Miller. He lived like 15 minutes from my house. And I had Jerry sign the poster.
Nice.
Is either any of those on SF Sound, or are they all on Columbia?
This one is a Sundays. I don't have any of the SF, but the others are Columbia.
Sundays.
Hold on. Are you mourning someone, Tim? What's going on with the light in your room?
I'm kind of pissed off at Tim right now because he lived in San Francisco for a couple of years and didn't even call me.
Didn't stop by.
He doesn't want
I haven't done one of these in a while, so I need to check my light.
Well, hold on. Also, Tim was a wannabe in the Hollywood. He lived here for a while too. You don't see me going off on him about that, Mazzy.
Yeah, really.
Hey, now, this is great. Now we got the Waxed, and Tim can hold records up to the light right next to each other.
Wow.
Yeah, I just bought this on Amazon. It's a 30 times magnifier glass with LED lights. Woo.
Ooh.
Oh
yeah.
Oh, for videos.
And does that also shoot video?
No, is that for looking at dead wax and stuff?
Yeah. We're looking at dead wax, magnifying glass.
I just bought one similar to that actually records a video too.
Wow.
Where you can zoom in and.
Well, actually, does everyone want a helpful tip?
Sure.
Not from you.
Your video on your phone, if you want to capture the dead wax information, shoot a video of it. Don't use the camera setting. You can get all the dead wax information by doing that. Also, what I learned from Patrick, I picked this up on Amazon, and I take this with me now when I record shop to look at the quality of the records.
Because your flashlight in your phone doesn't work.
You can also use that for a genital exam there, Rob.
You can also use it.
Hey, everyone.
You shove it right up there.
What I just heard come out of Dr. Robert's mouth is when he comes back to the States, free genital exams for everyone.
For all the vinyl community. Yes.
When you use your phone for the light, this is blocking you seeing stuff.
I watched
holding this away when you're looking at a
I
record
want to
is
do a
much.
compliment. I watched Tim's 95, 96 video this morning. That was my first thing before I got into this shit. And there was some cool stuff there because I think eventually, maybe this year, they'll reissue 30 years Pearl Jam and Neil Young, possibly, because it's 30 years. It would be, I think, the next box, possibly, right?
Yep.
And that's an album that I had, and Kimbo has my old copy now, or it was in shrink. But there was great stuff. That Counting Crows album, that's the one that was co-produced by David Lowery from
Chris, what are you doing?
Cracker and
Not bad.
Pepper Van Beethoven. That was some rare stuff, that mid-90s stuff on vinyl. So that was a good series. Oh, that'll probably be that.
Hold
And
on.
Sleeps with Angels. Do you have Sleeps with Angels, Tim?
Yeah.
I'm
yeah.
not a fan of that album, though.
I picked it up in Pasadena when I was with.
That's right.
Before we leave the topic, Rob, with that pen light, what you want to memorize is the phrase "turn your head and cough." All right.
God.
Now, what
Now,
lube
hold
do you
on,
prefer,
Dr.
Doc?
Robert. I'm an old dude, but not by your standards. But I'm old. I've had issues with my health.
Kaiser
I've had
won't let
lots of
doctors do that
medical
anymore.
exams. I kind of think
Well-
I'm not an expert, but I have lots of experience. No
What
one held
lube
a
do you
pen
prefer,
light
Doc?
when I turned and coughed. Isn't that a feeling thing? Dr.
You know-
Robert, if you're going to make a medical joke, make it make sense.
was
Okay?
never-
And Doc, why is it when you say that you have both of your hands on their shoulders?
Yes.
Well-
Hey, Dr. Robert, you
Normal
forgot
to
put
get an
your foot up
erection
a
during
guy's
these
chest when you
exams.
said that.
No. Yeah, that's the
I don't
other
have
joke.
an erection. Doc just says, but I do.
Yes, exactly. You got the joke. All right. Listen, guys, I'm so glad to get back on, and great to see Tim and Elliot. And I'm sorry, I am going to have to get off here.
Wait, Doc, I just want to say, if you're ever in Los Angeles, I want you to stop by, but just call first. That's all.
Bye.
I will do.
Bye bye.
Hey, I did want to say I love these streams. I've been a little infrequent lately, and I don't know. The next few weeks may be a little sketchy, but I will be here as often as I can. I'll say that.
All right, Doc.
Bye, Susan.
That sounds
Take care.
Ciao, ciao. Bye.
Bye.
I like these streams too. As a matter of fact, when Rob was showing all of his records, I had a stream.
Yeah.
Hey, everyone. Harry just said he peed his pants. Okay.
No, I got up and went in the other to the bathroom. But
Harry pees in the sink. Or no, that Rob pees
Where
in the
did
sink.
Elliot just go? I don't
There
know.
you go. You're getting a
All
little
right.
lighter there. And
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
you got a little green tint to you there, but
No, you're good, Tim. What?
little
you come
hot,
in-
little hot. There we go. Okay.
that's
Oh, you
better.
got one of those special. That's right. You're kind of a tech guy that has that special stuff that you kids are into.
I like to overpay for tech 24/7. Yeah.
Can't you just say, "Hey Siri, turn the lights up"?
I
You
don't
see
have
on
the,
my
I
rack?
don't have the smart light bulbs.
Oh,
Do you see on my rack there's a hole?
sorry, I couldn't find that in your home.
Elliot, what's up, man?
Oh, a little of this, a little of that. How are you doing?
So you like
Terrible.
that video I
Got a
sent
minute?
you?
I'm doing really bad, Elliot.
Oh, yes, definitely.
You do have a minute?
Happy
what?
birthday, Patrick.
What's going on here? All of a sudden, it got quiet.
Hey,
All right.
Elliot, are you near Noble Records, Elliot?
No, I'm like 2.5, 3 hours away.
Okay,
That's
okay.
fine.
Just curious.
But that's within the vinyl community. That's near.
True.
That's one
That's
of
like
Steve
me going to
Earle's favorite
Portland.
bands.
That's
I
like
think,
me
the
going to
DBs.
Portland.
So
You wanna
Elliot
talk
wants
about the hole in my rack?
no. Elliot wants to show records.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the whole purpose of the stream, right?
No. Well, it's making fun of people, then showing records.
Did show records, exactly. Well, generally that's the thing. Here's a little single I picked up a while back, a promo single from the DBs, from the Sound of Music LP that came out in '87. I Lie on
IRS.
IRS, and the DBs. This from the '87 album. A couple years before IRS signed them, they were between labels. They were on Bearsville, I believe it was before that, and Chris Stamey was kind of the leader of the band, and he decided to go out, solo for a while, work on some other things, and so Peter, how do you say, Hops Apple,
Pulse Apple, yeah.
He kind of de facto became the leader of the DBs at that point, and that's when they put out the Sound of Music on IRS, and things fell apart with IRS, and that's when he then went. He was kind of the DBs disbanded, and he went to work for REM for a while as a musician, working with them in the studio and live. And that lasted about 3 or 4 years. But the DBs and bands like them and like Let's Active, they all came from one high school in Winston-Salem, Reynolds High School. They had a little corner of the where on break between classes, they called it the combo corner, where these high school kids, all of them playing music, would get together and they would kind of form bands. They would work on songs. It was a hangout, a smoking area, I guess, at school. And they would brainstorm, and bands were created. And the amount of talent and great music that came out of that one high school there in Winston-Salem, Reynolds High School, was just amazing. Let's Active, Mitch Easter, leader of Let's Active and the producer extraordinaire of Power Pop.
REM.
The DBs, it's probably the best examples of that, but there were a lot. Yeah, that's a good album.
Mitch Easter.
Also,
Nice.
it's translucent.
It is translucent.
Yes.
A lot of IRS records are translucent. Hold your pen light behind it. Don't look at anyone's balls though with it.
And a couple of other things I'll show. I did a video. I hope people will watch after the stream sometime on the Piedmont Blues, and I looked at 4 female Piedmont Blues guitarists. Of course, the most well-known of those would be Elizabeth Cotton. This is a album I didn't have when I did the video a couple of weeks ago. You know how when you get interested, you get on a topic, kind of you go in there and start buying more records from. But this is our Hooley release from when she was 90 years old, and called, obviously, just simply called Live. But another artist I didn't have any albums for when I did the video, but was able to locate a couple since then. This artist was from near Columbus, Georgia, and her name's Precious Bryant. That's not a stage name. Her real name was Precious.
It's a great photograph.
Precious Bryant, and this album is The Truth.
It's a massive guitar.
Yeah, it is a big one. I was able to show some YouTube video of her playing. Excellent Piedmont blues player. There's a second album from her, like I say, from out near Columbus, Georgia.
When did those come out?
These were represses from 2021. One of
originally, when did it come out?
In the early 80s, I think. This is from Record Store Day. This is a Record Store Day 2021. This had not been available on vinyl.
Who put that out? Who put that out?
Who put it out? I believe was it Terminus Records out of Atlanta put it out. Both of these
Question for you, Elliot. Do you know Ken Pomeroy?
Personally,
No, don't know who that is.
Good try to stump Elliot. Patrick.
successful.
Yeah.
Yes.
But these the thing about these female Piedmont blues artists, unlike the ones that came along when this was popular music in the 30s and 40s, Blind Boy Fuller, Blind Willie McTell, Sonny Terry and Brownie McGee, who had a great career in the folk boom and afterwards as well. These female artists weren't playing outside the community for the most part. They weren't able, they didn't have record contracts. They didn't have the exposure that the male artists did. So most of these artists that I feature in my video, their professional career didn't start until they were in their 60s. And several of them lived into their 90s. Elizabeth Cotton was 94, I believe, when she passed away. She had a 30-plus year career that started when she was about 60 years old. Etta Baker, after her husband passed away in 67, and she had worked in a textile mill for almost 30 years up to that point, and her children were grown. That's when she went out and was able to create a music career rather than working in the textile mill. And if you've ever worked in a factory, a textile mill, or a manufacturing facility with an assembly line, an hour seems like a day. You can imagine what 30 years in a textile mill would seem like.
Elliot, are you familiar with musicmaker.org?
Yes. Tim Duffy and his wife, Denise is his wife's name, I believe. They do great work. That Music Maker Foundation is something everybody ought to check out. Google it and go to their site. They help primarily blues, but musical artists of any genre, but primarily blues artists who are, if they're still able to perform in their later years, they help them get gigs and generate income. If they're beyond those years, they help them to sustain them, coming up with rent money, getting them the financial resources they need so that they don't live in total poverty in their last years of their life.
Man, I think the clock is slow.
What?
That's a quote from Van Halen. You wouldn't get it.
Well, it goes along with what Elliot's talking about. Thank you, Harry.
Well, it does.
Is anyone asleep? What's going on?
Is that the organization years ago you sent me something from that? I remember that. Yeah.
Washboard Sam, I believe I sent you an album from Washboard Sam.
No, you just made that up, Elliot.
No.
What happened at MacArthur Park? I didn't hear.
Hey.
Taj Mahal is a major.
I don't feel tired. You got it. Harry got it.
To the Music Maker Foundation.
Yeah.
Hey, is there a blues musician named Toilet Brush Harry?
You guys mock this shit, which is bullshit. You guys are full of shit. I remember watching my first experience of Elliot Cruz because he did a thing of bluegrass, newgrass stuff. And I love that music. And you fuckers, all the roots music that got influenced bands like Wilco and the Byrds and all these other bands, it's that acoustic stuff's great. So I tell you,
comments like that, Mazzy, makes me understand why you get hate comments in your videos.
Not everything is about.
It's about good music. Is that what you're trying to say?
I'm going to hold back today.
Not everything is about good.
There's a few new people here, so we have to be on good behavior.
We do?
Yes. Even though we've known these.
Elliot, I give you credit. You know your shit. You got some deep knowledge.
He has deep shit. He knows.
All right, Elliot, we're being legit here. Answer this question. Wasn't Elizabeth Cotton discovered when she was the housekeeper for Pete Seeger?
Right. Not for Pete Seeger, but for the Charles Seeger family, a brother, I think, of Pete. She's from Orange County, North Carolina. And like a lot of African Americans in the 30s and 40s, the Great Migration, she moved north for looking for better opportunities, she and her family. She ended up after living in New York for a while, ended up in Washington, D.C., and she was working at a department store when Peggy Seeger, a little child, Peggy Seeger, who went on to become a great folk artist herself, got lost, separated from her mother in the department store. She found Peggy, brought her back to her mother, and somewhat of a friendship developed between Elizabeth Cotton and Miss Seeger, and she ended up hiring her as a nanny for their children, one of which was Mike Seeger, who went on to a great career as well.
Bluegrass player.
And they didn't even know that she played music. And one day she picked up the in the household. She's left-handed. She turned it upside down and she plays the right-handed guitar left-handed with the bass notes on the bottom rather than the top. So she's playing the melody.
I don't know how people can do that.
And
That's
I don't know
amazing.
how they do it because I'm left-handed and I couldn't possibly even approach that. But Libba was her, what a lot of people called her was Libba, because Peggy Seeger couldn't pronounce Elizabeth when she was real little. So she became known as Libba. And that first album in 1958, the Elizabeth Cotton album in 1958 that Smithsonian Folkways put out, was recorded by Mike Seeger when he was a child, a teenager probably, in the mid-1950s, 1957, 58. Mike Seeger recorded her on his home tape recorder, and that was that first Folkways album. And it would be a couple more years, that's the album right there.
Incredible record.
1960 or so, when she started playing festivals and events and was able to start a music career. She was about 60 years old at that point.
Yeah, there's a copy of the.
Elliot, did you know that the word sinister came from left-handed people?
I didn't know that in particular, but I know it's supposed to be the hand of the devil.
Speaking about that, you want to talk about Sinister, and I saw the best movie of the year last night. Finally, it's on TV. Sinners.
I watched that a couple of nights ago.
Great movie. It's not what you expect, so don't read about it first.
It's a movie with every actress left-handed.
My two
Now everyone's
disappointments with
reacting.
the movie Sinners is, number one, they didn't know how to end it. And number two, I felt like it was two movies compressed into one. One is the story of the twins returning home from Chicago to deal with life back in Mississippi in 1932, starting a club. And then the other story was a vampire movie.
You just wrecked it.
No, everybody knows it's a vampire
Hey,
movie.
Elliot, it was nice having you here ruining movies.
Yeah. What? So
Whatever you do, don't tell me how Shawshank Redemption ends.
Hey, between Dr. Robert telling me to get my balls examined, Elliot ruining movies, and wondering what Harry's doing with his left hand,
Everybody
it's
knows.
driving me nuts
it's-
today.
No, actually,
Everybody
I didn't
knows.
know.
I
Never
told
seen
Michelle.
it.
I told Michelle to watch it, and I said, "Don't read anything about it. Just go watch it." This was 2 nights ago. So halfway through, she texts me, and she wrote, "Vampires?" question mark. So she had no
What?
idea, and
Are there vampire? I don't know.
Oh,
That's-
thanks.
that's a big part of
Okay.
the movie. But
All
it's
So, question, Elliot.
it's
You're a
great.
school teacher, right? Elliot,
retired.
you're retired.
Actually, everyone does not know that. I just
It's the
said it,
word-
Raji.
Is the word for, like I'm for this or for that, is that a 1-syllable or a 2-syllable word where you come from?
For
Because you pronounce it for.
it's 2 syllables.
For. It's 2 syllables.
Yeah.
For.
Right.
And right is right.
Right.
So I'm just
Why are
You
you
add
making-
syllables.
Why are you making fun of Elliot?
I'm not.
my
I'm
job.
interested. I'm just interested.
Okay, Tim has
That's-
been patiently waiting
Jim,
here.
don't make fun of Elliot. That's Rob's job.
All
Yeah.
right.
How do you
I
even
just said
teach?
that.
step on his
left-handed
toes?
whacker.
How do you teach syllables in? Where was in
Feels
Petticoat
like
Junction?
somebody else.
I mean,
Hey,
you're right down from Petticoat Junction, right?
But the music component to Sinners is great, and I liked how they fused even
Well,
modern and old, and
the
you know,
guy.
So is it
the
true
guy
the
who-
movie sucks?
it bites.
It bites.
Do we want to talk about me for a minute?
No,
Sure.
you did that earlier. Tim, did you come by to show something or something?
No, I just kind of
Hang
wanted to join in and visit.
When are you
Okay.
coming back to town? We come back to LA.
I don't know. I don't know. I did a little Portland junket about a month ago.
Did you stop and see Dr. Robert?
He was out of town.
Oh, okay.
But you
Lucky.
probably could have found some records in his house.
True.
Oh, you went to some good stores there. That's a good. I know I saw your video and you mentioned some of our videos of those tours, like Tomorrow Records and Little Act.
Tomorrow,
Great little stores.
there's a new one, Record History Portland or something is quite good. It's kind of on the northeast side.
Haven't
It
been
was a
there.
fun trip. It was very, very quick. Yeah. Anyway.
Did you have,
So you're pretty close to Michael, right? When he does his Air Force musical shows they do. Have you seen any yet?
I haven't. Colorado Springs is where he is. It's a good 2.5 hour drive from
okay.
here. What's his name? Steve Carlson was just, I'm in Fort Collins. Steve Carlson was just up here and he didn't reach out. I was disappointed.
Oh, now let's just trash everyone who
Hey.
hasn't reached out to us.
hey, for Thursday, we're going to do everyone who's been stubbed by Steve Carlson. You're
Perfect.
welcome to come up on stream and
Mazzy, I'm kind of hurt. When you go to San Francisco, you drive right through Tacoma. Puyallup's only 10 minutes away.
It's way the hell out, man. It's like the archivist now lives in Auburn, and that's the way the fuck off.
So you could make it a trip. You could stop. You could spend the night in Auburn, spend the night in Puyallup,
Yeah. Turn a 2-day drive into
a
a
night
6-day
in Portland.
hey, hold on. Tim,
Yeah.
when in Puyallup, in my Yelp review, I go, it was an okay stay, but too much clam chowder.
I'm going to Chicago in a few weeks, and we're doing a Thursday crawl. So Emma's going to reach out to people. If you haven't, we're going to try to meet up on Thursday, whatever that Thursday.
Won't
This
you please
7th, I
come
think?
to Chicago.
Yeah.
Hey,
I mean, Tim came here once. The first time I met Tim and his wife.
Right?
Yeah. The only time I met him. Yeah.
I was in one of your whack-a-moles. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the first time. We didn't know each other very well then. That was early on.
You actually put out the red carpet. You had like croissants that you
I had
bought at
croissants.
Safeway and put them in the oven. Made us
Wait,
a cappuccino.
They were from
and eggs.
Safeway. They were, yeah. I heated them up though, didn't I?
That
I
was
think.
a couple of years. That was 2023. Yeah.
Mazzy, I got a question. When you do your whack-a-moles, have you ever tried doing it with your left hand?
well, you messed
That's
it up,
what she
Harry.
said.
That's like cheating on yourself.
Yeah, actually, I
Harry, is
have.
it true?
I've pulled from my left hand. I pulled from my left hand.
Harry, is it true that you sit on your left hand for about 10 minutes?
You got to numb it. Then you
Concert buddy and his family came here,
No, Mazzy, I'm not joking.
Put Patrick's
I strongly
comment up there.
suggest you put like a book. You put a book out like Bread and Breakfast is, so people could sign it.
I should have started a guest book. That would have been
Angelo, the
easy.
question is, when will Jim grow up?
I do have that
I already
blank
did,
book.
man.
I
It's
do have
good
that
for me.
blank book in the guest room. It says people who I'd love to punch in the face. It's a blank book that's in the guest room. You can sign in on it.
We had dinner reservations in Portland. Everybody and nobody showed up.
Yeah. You know what the problem was? I did a text, and it turned out the group text was the wrong one because Patrick wasn't on it. So I didn't let him know Kimbo and I weren't coming, unfortunately. So it was my mistake. Mea culpa.
And then I said, well, if Mazzy and Kimbo aren't going to be there, there's no point in me going.
Well, I blame Kimbo because he was the driver. It wasn't me driving.
Well,
hatred is the defining
I
characteristic.
didn't charge Tim for croissants and cappuccinos.
No, but he did have a tip bucket out on the
I just
table.
didn't really spend any money on them.
I went up my iPad, the automatic tip thing was at 25%. The
Hey,
fallback.
by the way, people, like to recommend that today is Amazon Prime Day, and then Target's doing a knockoff. They have buy two get one free on vinyl, the music stuff.
Is that online only?
Target stopped selling Universal product, but they have like the OJCs and other things, but other albums. They have some box sets that if you buy 3 of them, lowers the price. They have that Chet Baker box set that's coming out cheap.
Yeah, Rick's, I should charging for the Seattle experience. I give you, we'll drive you around to record stores like Rob does, but I'm going to, once you hit 40,000, you can start charging for shit.
He'll have an ice box lunch and a juice box for you.
Well, there's different levels.
Mazzy dropped us off at a record shop after our little visit. That was very nice.
Mazzy dropped me off at one, and then you took off.
Where did I drop
you off? Uber home.
Do you remember where I dropped you off, Tim?
Chance, a lot of people.
It was in the Georgetown area. I don't remember.
Oh, Georgetown Records. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Mazzy, are you going to Clock Out Lounge?
When is it? Probably not.
I think it's the 20th.
Yeah, I'm not really doing many. First of all, I'm not buying records, very many used records anymore. I'm and as I sell records, if I have a rare copy of something and there's a very good reissue, I'm totally cool with having the reissue at this point in my life. If it's something worth a lot, I don't need the artifact anymore. I want the music. I know it's obvious, but
can you put Concert Buddy's comment up there? I wanted to comment on his comment.
I put it up there before. This one
about the Target selection.
Oh, I already put it up, but I don't know what's going on.
Well, the reason it sucks is because William's buying up all this stuff to flip it.
Oh, there you go. He helped you out there, Chance, with an insult towards Billiam.
Rob, did you check out that website with the $8?
Yeah, I looked at it. And I didn't see anything that floated.
You really have to. Let me say this real quick. You have to check it every week or two. There's a whole lot of stuff there's no interest in that most of us have no interest in, but stuff will pop up and you'll see stuff. And I've actually ordered a few more just the other day. The Shaver album that I don't think was ever on vinyl. Billy Joe Shaver and his son Eddie, before Eddie passed away.
That's a great
album Victory. And I guess I think it's a Record Store Day reissue of Victory. Great album.
I got Georgia on a Fast Train on it. Was that another one with Eddie?
I think that's another one with Eddie.
His son died.
That's the one I like a lot.
His son died.
He died of a drug overdose.
Yeah, his son was an amazing guitar player.
Here's a record tip. Okay, Sundays. I think today's maybe still the last day of the July 4th weekend thing.
Oh wait,
but they repressed their.
I tried to buy it. It won't let me buy it. Does anyone have that problem?
PayPal works.
They don't take PayPal.
Yes, they do.
They do?
You do. You have to get in the right place. It's fucked up, their website. But anyway, Sundays has the 5 LP Velvet Underground box cut by Kevin Gray, pressed at RTI. It is from Digital Files, but it's the one I don't have. It's not the 92. It's not the 2012 box with the flimsy cover. It's a different one. They recut it about 5 years ago or whenever, 6 years ago. Kevin Gray cut. So the it
It
has
is digital.
it's from Digital Cuts, but Kevin Gray cut it.
But
RTI. It's
it's
got
the mono.
Chelsea
It's the
Girl,
mono.
and it's got it's mono
It's
except the last
mono.
one, and it doesn't have obviously the Atlantic record.
So
but,
wait, what is the
there-
what is the? I emailed them and they have not gotten
yeah,
back.
the website's fucked up, but there is, if you get in the right thing, there's a PayPal option and a shop, whatever you call it, shop.
Nobody's mentioned the ZZ Top box that people are starting to get. I didn't order either one myself.
Hey, the Beatles mono box should be shipping soon, right?
It's supposed to come the 18th. I didn't.
Was it the 18th? Okay.
The 18th, but the thing is, if it's historically, we know if you order from websites or Universal, they ship on the day or the next week, but you never know. Maybe they'll ship early.
Right.
I
Did you
ordered
order it?
4
Did
of
you
them,
order
so I'm hoping they come soon.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry?
I ordered 4 of them.
No, you didn't.
You got a porch pirate cam set up?
I do actually. But it doesn't matter. How many times do you see neighborhoods showing your video of their shit being stolen? So you
Right.
have to be at home or change the delivery times or something, or have your neighbors grab it.
I don't need anything. I got right there that little white thing. Anybody comes to the door, we know it. Trust me.
The problem with these delivery people, they don't even ring the doorbell anymore. They just kind of toss it. So
Or they
sometimes
knock real quick.
Sometimes it doesn't even
Like,
set off.
anymore.
Yeah.
Well, the Sundays over the weekend had 20% off everything. That's ended.
Well,
They
it was.
also-
I looked this morning. It was going on this morning.
The 20% off.
Yeah, I don't know if it ended now.
It
but this-
ended already. It's done.
Okay, well, it was going at 6 a.m. because
All I'm gonna say is they have the Sumra box for cheap too, and they have a lot
the
of
Velvet Underground. It's regular 145. It was at 119 for 5 LPs. Kevin Gray thing. So
yeah
Concert
it's
Buddy
gone
just put it out.
so
Vance wants to know when you're going to be in Chicago.
Are you not on that thread? Emma's coordinating it. Emma, it's the day I arrive Wednesday the 6th, but the day I have all day free and evening on the 7th, Thursday, August 7th. That's the day of, we could all meet up at different times or all day or part of the day or whatever. Friday afternoon, I go to the Beatle Fest at is it Rosemont Hyatt or wherever the Beatle Fest
Oh my
is?
God. Who do they have at those anymore? Is there anybody alive that was
They
remotely?
have the courier who worked for John Lennon's chauffeur, who is the grandson of the person that changed the tire on John's Rolls Royce.
The one I wish I could have gone to Beatle Fest when Harry Nilsson was there.
Well,
That
David
would've
and I
been
got
heaven.
drunk with Harry Nilsson. That's hard to do.
Wow.
Or it's not hard to do. We talked to him for 2 hours. No, but Peter Asher's going to be there this time doing his shtick thing.
He's good. He's a very good speaker.
There's but I'm meeting some people there. So
If you see a Harry Nilsson signed 45, the red one, at that show at a reasonable price, pick it up for me. A reasonable price being $20.
what 45? What 45?
He did one a benefit thing about gun control.
Oh,
because of John.
I have the brochure, the gun control handbill thing, autographed.
And I think the 45 comes with that.
Okay,
So I
mine's
wanted
autographed
that
by
package.
him and Lawrence Juber.
Wouldn't the more difficult thing to do with Harry Nilsson be to get sober with Harry Nilsson?
Yeah. Well, we were in the lobby of the Bonaventure. He literally drank an entire bottle of brandy while we were sitting there with him.
Wow.
Brandy, Jiminy Crickets.
Brandy. I know. Yeah. But he was great. He told a great story. He was really nice, but he was kind of very fucked up. But
He's got one of the best voices.
he did. Yeah, and he blew it out at the end, unfortunately.
Well, my buddy at Omnivore, they put out his last record, which when you listen to it, it's so overproduced to compensate. But he did have a really good song on there called Dodger Blue. About the Dodgers. That's a good song.
Angelo, hey, I want to thank Angelo for that comment he made. I did this. I did this video because I was invited to this guy that had this. He's a rep and he does custom installations and equipment. It's very high end gear, and it's easier for people to dump on all, this cable on the off the floor and all. And I get that, but it was really fun listening to some records, and some records I couldn't play in the video because of copyright, but I played Led Zeppelin and The Who, and the great thing was that Tennessee Ernie Ford album on Capitol. Get that album; it sounds amazing. But it was fun seeing that, and as pretentious as some people might think, Angelo made a good comment about it's nice. It's like have you ever been to a car show here? Anybody? I used to go to car shows every year at Moscone Center, and you see the Ferraris and the concept cars, and not that you're going to own them or buy them, but it's kind of fun to look and experience them. That's how I see that high-end audio stuff. I'm not trying to sell it, but I enjoyed them inviting me over to listen to it.
I think Sonic Flair did a video there too.
Did he?
Recently. Yeah, I think he visited that.
Because he's in front of that guy, Michael T, who we go on sometimes on Westman, and it was fun. It's only like a half hour from me here, not even that, 25 minutes or 20 minutes, and it was fun. With half a day, we listened to a lot of different kinds of music.
Is someone doing laundry? I hear a banging noise.
Chester's chewing on a bone.
You can
Chester,
hear it.
shut the fuck up, man.
You can hear it.
Hey Rob, Fluffy says he didn't get that record. You guys got to meet up so he can get it.
I understand. It's based on me going to drop it off to him.
So have you listened to it?
No.
You got to play it before you give it to him.
I don't want to listen to someone else's record.
You got to listen to it because I mentioned in the record.
Well, you should have gave me a copy when you came.
I didn't. I had to buy them.
Listen, Harry.
He didn't even give me a free one.
Oh, yeah, that's what they all say. Go sit on your left hand, Harry.
Many years ago, Angelo Kelly was
think
born
the
and
clock
learned
is
to play the
slow.
guitar in the family folk
Look,
sing.
normally,
Grew up.
even if he gave me permission, I don't want to. I want him to be the first one to listen to
The
the.
Just
Angelo
listen to
Kelly
the
story.
first 3 songs on side 1.
No, it's Fluffy's record. Let him listen to it first.
Okay, you
Has-
guys should listen.
Has
together.
anyone seen the instructional guitar lessons that the Reverend is doing now?
Yes.
Yeah,
They're
good.
good.
I learned so much. It really inspired me, and I've been really practicing,
Go
a
on.
whole lot since those started coming out. You have to have stuff like that to kind of, prompt you to keep at it.
I think he's really he does great reels on Instagram. I think that's his venue of choice these days.
Yeah, he's not doing full videos.
Yeah.
And they do shorts on some of the other places too.
What happened to Louis Golden? I don't see him anywhere. I mean, I see him in text, but I don't see him anywhere else.
I think he may have acquired a life.
Oh, I hate it when that happens.
Yeah.
He's working on his music, his gear, his job,
Hey, why don't we all explain out why we don't see certain people anymore?
Billy Jones, sad passing of Billy Jones. I didn't know Billy. I'd seen him on live streams. I don't know that we ever conversed or anything on him, but may have. But I was talking to a dear friend of mine whose daughter lives in New York now. She had gone to NYU, got her master's in journalism there, and she's working at I think it's called Interview Magazine.
That's Warhol's old magazine. Yeah.
Okay. She's doing articles for them now and doing maybe a little assistant editor type stuff. But so I was talking to my friend, and I was telling him about this guy we knew from our vinyl community and didn't realize this, how important he was to the music community in New York. And I told him a little about him, and he talked to his daughter, and she said that She had been to one of his clubs, and the magazine had done several articles about Billy over the years.
Yeah, that was a sad one. That was yeah.
Apparently, it doesn't make Chester sad. He's still thinking that bone is something.
Does Chester have a bone? Nah.
Yeah.
Nah.
He does. He's working on it pretty hard. He's been sick, so you got to cut him a little slack. He's really been sick. And, you know,
Every dog is an emotional support dog.
Yeah, that's true. But he needs emotional support now. He's gone through a lot.
Careful, he might get one of your Christopher Cross records.
That's an artist I've never really understood the appeal to in recent years. I mean, he was just kind of a pop guy that had a real big record. What year was that big record? 83,
79, 80.
80, but he had a 5-year span where he was.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, I like the songs on the radio. I'm not saying, you know, anything negative about it, but it wasn't like groundbreaking or anything. And
right.
Can I
great
give you
guitar players are a dime a dozen.
Elliot, as a successful YouTuber, can I give you a piece of advice?
It depends on what you mean by successful.
I think you should do a Christopher Cross hate video on your channel.
Here's, you know, I don't know how if I'm going to show that.
I like
video.
Christopher Cross.
Here's the deal. I was sent that Omnivore record, and I haven't heard that record since Record Store days store, and that was a massive hit. And I remember being upset that he won like more Grammys in one night the Beatles had in their entire career up to that point. But I listened to it again. It's an excellent sounding record. It kind of bores the hell out of me, but the first track especially, it could have been taken almost out of a Fleetwood Mac Rumors. I mean, it's exactly like the rhythm and that whole thing. And then I remember the reason that it kind of turned me off, even though I don't mind Michael McDonald on those Steely Dan records that Chris is always, that Tim is always showing. And I like that. But when all of a sudden Michael McDonald chimes in on those, 2 or 3 songs, and I just realized
I really don't know.
In 40-Year-Old Virgin works so well, you know? But it's, and then at the, I don't know if it's the last song on the side or the album, there's that one song that I thought, oh, fuck, this is why all those 80s records sound so dated, that they got into that tinkling electronic-y piano thing at the end of one track that we heard like on half the records in the 1980s. And that,
hey Rob, can you do me a favor and not show Dr. Winston O'Boogie's comment? Oh, I said don't show it.
Hey, listen. I only point out when people say stupid things in the peanut gallery, so say something stupid. Secondly, that bone chewing's driving me nuts.
Yeah. Elliot, is there a way you can get the microphone a little closer to
the clock is fast.
There you go.
Who's a good boy?
There you go.
You could become a Foley. You could become a Foley artist in Hollywood, Elliot. You know what a Foley artist is?
No, tell me what that is.
It's the person that records all the noises to sound effects, like doors closing and ice crunching and people's guts being ripped out. But they use like.
Actually, Mazzy, can I make your joke funnier?
It wasn't a joke. It was a reality.
Yeah, Chester should be a Foley artist, not Elliot.
That's true. Okay.
Well, you remember the radio program Prairie Home Companion?
Yeah, of course.
The guys, they had always had, I think it was the same guy for all those years, but it may have been more than one over the years. The guy that did all the sound effects. Yeah, he was great. That really.
That's like Foley in Hollywood, but they just do all those amazing sounds. Like, yeah.
When bones break, when you hear the sound of bones breaking in a movie, they snap celery, a stalk of celery.
I mean, there's totally these days archives of that stuff, but sometimes it's custom made, you know.
Hey, Angelo, I know this is a little premature before you go on tour. Can Chester open up for you? He does a mean chewing of the bone.
I want to know when Angelo's new record is going to be finished.
I don't know, but if you follow Angelo Kelly on Instagram, you get to see his biker gang.
Yeah,
Well,
he follows
location.
me. He stalks me.
You want to see another album that maybe is not very
By the way, before you go into, I just texted my friend Brad, the Christopher Cross record and CDs, the reissues, had an excellent opening week of sales, and the reviews are pretty good.
And that really amazes me because you can find pristine condition Christopher Cross records in the wild.
Yep.
But you know,
I mean,
we could say that about so many reissues.
I'll let you know that I see that record often, and it's like a hobo slept with it. You really don't. I don't find it.
I see it a lot.
That
The
doesn't seem
jacket
like
is
the kind of
perfect.
record people would trash for some reason to me.
I see it a lot in really good condition.
Tim, can you see a light through the Christopher Cross, any of the pressings?
And
wonderful.
I have one.
Original copy, still sealed.
when he
You can
drops
still
another
find
cover, make sure you have your pen light so you can look correctly.
Now, has anyone heard, like, MoFi just did, I don't know if it's out yet, Heart on double 45? I'm not a double 45.
I've got it on order, but it hasn't shipped
It
yet.
hasn't shipped. It's too bad it's double 45, but
Here's a record I picked up recently. I had to order it online. This is I don't know how to. It's in Portuguese, I guess.
Pisto e Nosso.
Okay, and it's Jacob D. Bondelum.
Does he play like the oud?
He's a mandolin player. A little different than looking mandolin than what we're used to, from Brazil. A master instrument, a master of the instrument, I would say. And I got this record. It's a Camden RCA from Brazil. Hard to find stuff by him. His records are usually pretty expensive. Just standard, but it's a Brazilian.
Camden was a budget label for RCA.
Yeah, and like I say, this was Brazilian, and it's
There you go, Quiet, nice.
But
what's
the one picture say?
he is.
Do you have a
considered-
cube for Chester Quiet's records? Sorry.
I'm working on that.
Okay.
He's considered one of the greatest mandolinists in the world in his time. He had a professional career in Brazil, and at the same time sold insurance and was a pharmacist. So he had, several simultaneous careers. The sound is good. A bossa nova kind of superseded the sound that they were doing that was very popular. I forget what they called that particular genre. But the only negative I've got for this album is they do use an organ in a little bit of a couple of the tracks, and I just, in general, I don't like organ music, and I thought it took away from the more stringed instrument vibe that you would get from this.
There's no bluegrass organ band?
No, sometimes you'll get piano in some of it. Okay,
have you seen this young gal that plays the fiddle? She is amazing.
What's her name?
I don't know her name, but the videos pop up on the shorts, and she's probably 12, but she plays a fiddle like holy shit.
Yeah.
You didn't talk about.
I'll try to join more often. I've got to go.
All
Bye,
right,
Tim. Nice seeing you.
Bye bye.
Yeah,
I know
concert buddy.
I know
Lindsay
we're in
I
overtime.
know a lot of you don't particularly care for bluegrass, and I'm a big.
I do. I like it.
I know you do, but a lot of people don't really care for it. It's the butt of a lot of jokes that. But Molly Tuttle, who I've been a big champion of, she's got a new album out or coming out in August. That is a very big departure for her. She's going in a different direction. I don't know that I altogether like it, but I did hear some live footage on YouTube from her in New York playing a club in New York. But her new band, she's the band that she had created that was primarily bluegrass, has disbanded, and she's created a new band. And there's drums, which are
What?
sacrilegious when it comes to bluegrass, although it happens sometimes.
Hey.
She has a drummer, electric guitar in the band. She's still playing acoustic guitar, and it's a much more folk pop or just plain pop sound to it, but still with her guitar.
Well, she played. There was a live stream yesterday of Ringo's Peace and Love 85th birthday in Beverly Hills, organized by T-Bone Burnett, and Molly Tuttle played and sang, and Sam Phillips played and sang, and Jackson Brown played and sang, and it was okay. It was a little kitschy, but they did obviously like 5.
Jim, weren't you supposed to go to that? What's the deal with that?
Yeah, I passed.
Well, how do you pass on going to Ringo's birthday party?
I wasn't going to Ringo's birthday party. I was going to take I was going to be in a press line, take a picture. I just figured, what was I going to even do with the fucking picture?
How do you pass on that?
I saw Ringo 40 years ago. That's how I want to remember him. You know what I mean?
He looks better now than he did 40 years ago.
Maybe, but he walked faster.
Listen, I don't. There's nothing worse. There's nothing worse than hanging out with the press as people walk past in a step and repeat, and to get one little tiny glimpse of Ringo, you can keep it. Just go on. Go to what is that? Getty Images and see all the pictures Jim would have taken.
I would have. I thought to myself, when am I going to use that picture?
Did you really meet Ringo?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a real photo of you with him. I thought it was a cardboard cutout of
No, that's there was a
great
event,
photo.
The opening of his tour 2014. It was in Vegas, and he put out that book called Photographs, the first book, not Bowie, but I bought that through Genesis. I did a thing with Genesis. I went to it, and everyone who went to it, we had like a thing before the show. They showcased the photograph of the book, and some of the people who were actually in that one picture of the young people in the car that he took were there. Like 2 or 3 of the people who were still alive. Cool. And the people I had bought and ordered the book, and so we got to talk. I had 5 minutes talking to him, but I was hanging around. Like I have a picture of me and Nils Lofgren was there, just around the side. We were hanging out, so I talked to Nils, all the people who were in this band at that tour at the time.
Yeah.
And then I saw the show that night. I met Ringo.
Clarence Clemens in the band.
He asked me where I was from, and I said I'm from San Francisco. And he goes, "Oh, the last show." And I said, "Yeah, in fact." And I said, "They're tearing down Candlestick. I know. I think you and Paul should play there to close it out." Of course, Paul did play the last show there. I went to see that, but Ringo didn't play. And then they tore down Candlestick Park.
So can I show Elliot something? This happened to my dog. Do you see that marrow bone around his jaw?
Yeah.
It went over these teeth and stuck around his jaw. I had to take him. I had to take him to the vet. They had to cut it off.
Poor baby.
They cut his jaw off.
So make sure the marrow bones are long. Don't give him the shorties, man.
I will.
All right,
that's a cautionary tale right there.
This is the way I want to end the stream, with a helpful hint for you dog.
I think the clock is slow.
No, Thursday,
right.
June 7th.
Everyone, thank you for coming. See you on Thursday morning. Everyone,
left-handed too.
All right.
Yeah. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Enjoyed the visit, everybody.
Bye.
Take care.